I want to talk about Puerto Rico. It has been utterly devastated. And look, I've seen various reports on this. There is some suggestion that, in fact, the response by FEMA and the military has been pretty good. Chicago Tribune reports that aid is flowing to Puerto Rico. They are facing a growing humanitarian crisis there, though. So this is still very, very early in the recovery process. We're still in the rescue and recovery process. There have been reports that about 40% of the island now has electricity. The other 60% may not get electricity back for months. For months. Here is the San Juan mayor. Her name is Yulín Cruz, talking to the Washington Post about what's going on there. It's very difficult to send down any type of broadcasters or anything like that because it's just tough to get the connectivity to actually get around the country. But here is Yulín Cruz.
As the days unfold, the reality of the horror, and I'm not only saying that in order to paint a picture that people can identify with. There is horror in the streets. There is no electricity anywhere in Puerto Rico. But people are actually becoming prisoners in their own homes. Looting is starting to take place at night. People tell us often, I don't have my medication. I don't have my insulin. I don't have my blood pressure medication. I don't have food. I don't have drinking water. The elderly and the children are the most affected ones. We have a very difficult situation with people that rely on medical assistance to live. HIV patients, dialysis patients, people that are bedridden. Where do you take them? Where do you establish enough medical facilities? I walked into an elderly home today. The elderly were just reaching out the window. They had no drinking water. Next door neighbors had no food. A good portion of San Juan is flooded. So in a couple of days, that water, which already has gasoline and diesel and oil and everything that comes to the sewage system out there for everyone to walk in, it will be very difficult to start dealing with the smell produced by all the feces that are coming out of it. You know, we had 1,260 something refugees. Most of them have gone home. And what did they go home to? Nothing. No electricity, no drinking water, no roof literally over your head.
It's utter devastation. It's utter devastation there now. The Puerto Rican governor, Ricardo Rosello, is warning that his government needs broader assistance from the federal government. They're looking for more help from the Pentagon. Unless there's a formal request from the Trump administration, lawmakers cannot begin working on a federal relief bill for the latest round of damage caused by record-setting hurricanes. There has to be a request that comes from the president. It's just the way it works. Donald Trump, of course, has said nothing about Puerto Rico. You have millions of Americans living without water and electricity, without the ability to get food, and there's no mobilization. Now, on some level, FEMA and the military are functioning without sort of the attention from the president. But the problem with this is that when we get further down the road, when there's an attempt to rebuild, there's going to be just no public awareness of the need for this. I mean, when you think about the hundreds of billions of dollars between Harvey and Sandy that were needed to repair these areas, you've got Puerto Rico completely wiped out. The agriculture on Puerto Rico, which provided a massive amount of aside from tourism, which I don't know, there's going to be tourism there. 80% of the crop value in Puerto Rico was destroyed. And you're talking about $780 million just in agricultural costs. That's before you even start to look at like the costs of housing, of institutions. Here's the thing. Puerto Rico already imports about 80 to 85% of its food. We've had on this program a couple of guests who've talked about the Jones Act. The Jones Act is a law that was to protect maritime interests and essentially American, I guess, continental ports, mainland ports. So you cannot have ships go directly to Puerto Rico. They first have to go to, I don't know, Miami or to some port in the Carolinas before they can ship goods to Puerto Rico. And it's going to make it prohibitively expensive to get food and infrastructure through private markets to get it down there. So, I mean, there has to be a waiver of the Jones Act or a permanent repeal of the Jones Act, and it has to happen soon. The other thing to anticipate, or I guess I just know about that, is that, you know, one of the places that Puerto Rico gets their food from, or the places would be the Dominican Republic and St. Martin. I mean, all of these islands in the Caribbean that have also been hit by, if not Maria, was it Jose or Irma, rather? So there's a real problem down there. And I just wanted to make people, you know, conscious of it. This was going around apparently from a Facebook post that Hayes had tweeted out. A group of us got together and volunteered at the behest of the municipality of San Juan. We found a building, 14 stories with over 200 residents. They had no power. Power only for a couple hours a day on emergency power generator. The water pump was broken, so water was permanently unavailable both for drinking and basic hygiene. Both elevators also busted. Some folks we spoke to couldn't remember when they had eaten last. They had no drinking water. The ground floor public restroom that was being used by many residents, because it had water being on the lowest level, was a putrid mess. At least 4 people needed to be evacuated in ambulances because they were severely dehydrated, needed dialysis, or had other urgent medical needs. The nearest hospital, literally within walking distance, wouldn't take these folks because of failing phone service. They couldn't reach the 911. So it's just utterly devastating down there, and you're seeing mobilization by charity and whatnot, but there needs to be more. And then the question is like, you know, we already had the situation where Puerto Rico was being drained of all its resources. by vulture capitalists. Now it's just going to be God knows. It's also going to be, I can tell you right now, we're going to see a massive wave of migration to New York and I would imagine Miami. Florida in general, probably. I don't know. There's maybe other places in the country that have
Possibly
a large Puerto Rican.
Parts of Massachusetts, actually.
Yeah.
Holyoke's actually a very important city in relation to Puerto Rico.
I wonder if it could actually get to the point where it would change the politics of Miami, of Florida.
I mean, it wouldn't take that many new people to change the politics of Florida.
Nope.
I mean, it's
Going to be fascinating to see, but also, so we'll put a link up on the homepage at majority.fm if you are looking for what you can do for Puerto Rico from a charity perspective, but more importantly, we need to do something politically on this. Hi, folks. Sam Seder here. We still need your help on our Patreon page. YouTube ads have come back, but not nearly as much as we had before. So if you can help us out, any little bit helps. Head over to our Patreon page right at this URL, and you'll help us keep helping you by making videos